April Fool's Day, celebrated annually on the 1st of April, is a day filled with practical jokes, hoaxes, and general tomfoolery. People across the globe participate in this lighthearted tradition, but the origins of the holiday remain shrouded in mystery. Despite its widespread popularity, the exact beginnings of April Fool's Day are still unknown, with various theories attempting to explain how this day of mischief came to be. Welcome to HistoryScroll.com, and in this video, we are going to talk about the mysterious origins of April Fool's Day. Some historians suggest that the roots of April Fool's Day can be traced back to ancient festivals celebrated around the time of the vernal equinox. One such festival was the Roman Hilaria. It was celebrated around the spring equinox in late March in honor of the goddess Cybele and her consort Attis. The festival involved games, amusements, masquerades, and people disguising themselves, imitating others, and engaging in various forms of mockery and jesting. Some historians have speculated that April Fool's Day may have roots in festivals like Hilaria, since they share some similarities, occurring around the beginning of April, celebrating the arrival of spring, and involving elements of joking, disguise, and reversal of norms. Nonetheless, there is no direct evidence to establish a connection between them. Hilaria took place on the 25th of March, not the 1st of April, and the first clear historical references to April Fool's Day date to the 1500s, much later than the Roman era. One of the most popular theories regarding the origin of April Fool's Day is that it originated as a result of the switch from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar in the 16th century. In 1582, France became one of the first countries to switch from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, as decreed by Pope Gregory XIII. This change moved the beginning of the new year from the end of March to the 1st of January. According to this theory, many people either refused to accept the new date or were unaware of the change. These individuals continued to celebrate the new year during the last week of March through the 1st of April. As a result, they became the target of jokes, pranks, and ridicule by those who had already adopted the new calendar. The pranksters would send these fools on pointless errands or trick them into believing false information. However, this theory has its flaws. There are references to April Fool's Day that predate the calendar change, such as a mention in a 1561 Flemish poem by Edouard de Dene, suggesting that the tradition was already established before the Gregorian calendar's adoption. In France, April Fool's Day is known as Poisson d'Avril, or April Fish. The tradition involves attempting to attach a paper fish to someone's back without being noticed. When the prank is discovered, the prankster shouts Poisson d'Avril. The origin of this French tradition is uncertain, but some believe it may be related to the abundance of young fish that were easily caught during early April, making them a symbol of gullibility. Others suggest that the fish symbolism stems from the zodiac sign Pisces, which ends on the 20th of March around the time of the vernal equinox. The earliest known reference to Poisson d'Avril dates back to 1508 in a poem by Éloi de Merval, indicating that the tradition was already well established in France by the 16th century. In Britain, one of the first clear references to April Fool's Day can be found in John Aubrey's 1686 book, Remains of Gentilism and Judaism, where he mentions Fool's Holy Day being observed on the 1st of April. In 1698, several people were tricked into going to the Tower of London to see the lions washed, a prank that became notorious and is still remembered today. In Scotland, April Fool's Day is known as Hunt the Gowk Day, with gowk being a Scottish term for a foolish person. The tradition involves sending someone on a fool's errand, often with a sealed message that instructs the recipient to send the gowk onto another person. The following day, the 2nd of April, is known as Taily Day in Scotland. This day is dedicated to pranks involving the buttocks, such as attaching a kick me sign to someone's back. As April Fool's Day gained popularity, it became a staple in popular culture, with newspapers, radio stations, and television programs participating in the tradition by publishing or broadcasting humorous fake stories and pranks. One of the most famous April Fool's Day hoaxes was the BBC's 1957 segment on the Swiss spaghetti harvest, where it was reported that Swiss farmers were enjoying an unprecedented spaghetti yield due to favorable weather conditions and the successful eradication of the spaghetti weevil. The broadcast showed footage of people harvesting spaghetti from trees, and many viewers were fooled into believing the story. In April 1985, Sports Illustrated pulled off an elaborate April Fool's Day prank by publishing a story about a fictional rookie pitcher named Sid Finch, who was set to play for the Mets. According to the article, Finch possessed an extraordinary ability to throw a baseball at an astonishing speed of 168 miles per hour with remarkable accuracy, surpassing the previous record by a whopping 65 miles per hour. Surprisingly, Finch had never played baseball before. Instead, he he had honed his pitching skills at a Tibetan monastery under the tutelage of the legendary great poet saint Lama Milarepa. Mets fans were overjoyed at their team's incredible fortune in discovering such a talented player, and Sports Illustrated was inundated with inquiries for additional details. However, it was later revealed that the story was nothing more than an elaborate hoax crafted by the writer George Plimpton, and the mysterious Sid Finch was a fictional character. Taco Bell pulled off a memorable April Fool's Day prank in 1996 by announcing that it had purchased Philadelphia's iconic Liberty Bell and planned to rename it the Taco Liberty Bell. The news sparked outrage among hundreds of citizens who flooded the National Historic Park in Philadelphia, where the bell is located, with calls expressing their displeasure. It wasn't until a few hours later that Taco Bell revealed the announcement was simply a practical joke, putting an end to the public's concerns. The most memorable moment of the day came when White House Press Secretary Mike McCurry was asked about the supposed sale. Without missing a beat, McCurry quipped that the Lincoln Memorial had also been sold and would henceforth be known as the Ford Lincoln Mercury Memorial. Burger King took April Fool's Day to a new level in 1998 by running a full-page ad in USA Today, announcing the launch of a groundbreaking new menu item, the left-handed Whopper. Burger King's creative team developed a groundbreaking new menu item designed specifically for the 32 million left-handed Americans. This inventive burger, dubbed the left-handed Whopper, boasted all the beloved components of the classic Whopper, including crisp lettuce, ripe tomatoes, and a succulent flame-grilled beef patty. However, the ad claimed that all the condiments had been rotated 180 degrees to cater to the needs of their left-handed customers. The following day, Burger King released a follow-up statement revealing that the left-handed Whopper was, in fact, an April Fool's Day hoax. Nonetheless, the prank proved to be a resounding success, as thousands of curious customers flocked to Burger King restaurants across the country, eager to try the new sandwich. With the rise of the internet and social media, April Fool's Day pranks have become even more elaborate and far-reaching, with companies and individuals using these platforms to spread their humorous hoaxes. While the origins of April Fool's Day remain uncertain, the tradition has spread to many countries around the world, each with its own unique customs and pranks. In Brazil, the 1st of April is known as Dia das Mentiras, or Day of Lies, and pranks are similar to those played in other countries. In Iran, pranks are played on the 13th day of the Persian New Year, which falls on the 1st of April or the 2nd of April. Dating back to 536 BC, this day is known as Sizda Badar and holds the title of the world's oldest recorded prank tradition. People go picnicking and play jokes on each other. In Poland, April Fool's Day is known as Prima Aprilis and has been celebrated since at least the 16th century. As Mark Twain once wrote, "The 1st of April is the day we remember what we are the other 364 days of the year." Perhaps the real origin of April Fool's Day is simply the human capacity for mischief and merriment. Sometimes a bit of harmless foolishness is the wisest thing of all. Despite its mysterious origins, April Fool's Day has become a beloved tradition celebrated by millions of people around the world. Whether its roots lie in ancient festivals, calendar changes, or cultural traditions, the holiday has evolved into a day of laughter, mischief, and lighthearted fun.